Hi guys, my name is Janne. I'm your designer friend from Finland, and the topic of the day is user personas, and specifically for web design. We're gonna go through definitions, why I like to use them, how you should use them, what you should include in them, and so on. If you'd like to skip, just check the timestamps in the description, and let's get it started. Firstly, what is a user persona? Well, it's a semi-fictional representation of a type of customer you might have. The persona usually has a name, a backstory, maybe some details about them, and when you're building a persona, the end product usually is some sort of visual representation of the specific persona. For example, a PDF that details all the specific things. That said, there are a lot of terms. You can talk about personas, profiles, and even segmenting. And when you talk about personas, you can talk about customer personas, buyer personas, maybe even reader or audience personas. Of course, these get mixed up, but if there's the term persona included, it usually refers to a semi-fictional character with really specific details. So why should we use personas? Well, the aim is to identify with the customer, build empathy, and in that way gain customer insights. You might have figured out that this is not an analytical tool. This is a tool for us humans who find it hard to identify with numbers and bar charts. And that's the reason I love this tool. It's way easier for me to think about opinions of Jeff the CEO rather than the 10th percentile of income earners in the United States. Okay, hopefully I was able to sell you the idea. Now the question is, how should you build one or two or three? Well, there are a lot of templates all around the internet, and lucky for you, I have one too. The link is down below. It's a Figma file. You can copy it and edit however you want. You will end up in a place like this. And as you can see, there are a few templates, few resources you can use while building your own personas. Of course, the important topic is what to include in these personas. It should be detailed enough to be relatable, but at the same time easy to read. For example, here's the Molly the marketer. There is a picture of her, some specific details, general information, and quotes, challenges, doubts, and channels. This is quite easy to go through, and I find that the image brings a lot to the table. Nowadays you can find really beautiful images free online, or even generate your own with these AI tools, so why wouldn't you use them? Challenges and doubts should of course relate to the services you're trying to sell. Of course, you could come up with all sorts of problems for this persona, but again, it should be easy to consume. Now you might say that this is quite general and there are not a lot of things that relate to web design specifically, and that is true. I like to keep the personas quite general, just to leave room for imagination, and I also find that the general stuff won't get outdated so quickly. Of course, there are some things you could add to that template or whichever template you are using regards to the web design part of the project. First would be, how do they find your website? Maybe Google, what search phrases they would use, social media, paid or organic, or maybe even directly from a recommendations, and where would that recommendation come from? Secondly, what would be the most important thing or benefit you should communicate to this specific persona? And thirdly, what things they have to or want to see in your website in order for them to go on with the buying process. Great, you have your personas ready, and it's time to design your website. In a way, this is a risky phase because in all of your creative excitement, you might end up forgetting that you even made these personas. I use them whenever I hit a certain milestone or I have a decision to make. For example, I have wireframe for the homepage ready. What would Jeff, the CEO, think of it? Is there something missing? How about, should we include blog cards on service pages? Well, Jeff would probably just want more references and maybe a contact form. It's a good idea to keep the personas close and available, and even might want to use a machine called printer for that. And lastly, you might wonder how you should communicate or justify the creation of user personas for your clients. In my case, they are a non-negotiable, so of course I explain what they are and how they are a crucial part of the process. Most of my clients have heard or even used personas before, and they see the value in them. And if there's a customer that wants to skip the phase, I usually know that they are not a good fit for me. So I would recommend that don't include this as an additional service, because it will be seen as a non-essential. That's all for today. Have a nice one. See you soon. Bye.